What's in the Constitution of the United States of America? The best way to find out is to read it. But here's an overview. The Constitution starts with the preamble, which tells us the reason the Constitution was written. It establishes the why of the Constitution. Importantly, in it, our founders declare that everything that follows is for the people and by the people, both for those in their day as well as those today and in future generations. Next up are the 7 major sections, known as articles. Let's break it down. Article 1 covers the legislative branch, including the qualifications, length of term, and duties of our federal legislators. Comprised of the House of Representatives and the Senate, this branch makes the laws and national policies. No other branch can do this. It also has the power to check and balance the other 2 branches. This article has 9 sections, and is by far the longest of the 7 articles in the Constitution because Congress is the most powerful of the 3 branches. Article 2 focuses on the executive branch of our government. That's the president, his cabinet, and officials. The executive branch has power, but not as much as Congress, and its powers are described in only 4 sections. The president can sign or veto laws passed by Congress, and he is to make sure that the laws passed by Congress are carried out. He also manages the everyday operations of our government through federal entities like the Department of State, Department of Treasury, and Department of Defense. Article 3 details the role of the judicial branch. Here we see how the federal court system works, and how it relies heavily on both the Congress and the president. This article has only 3 sections, and is by far the shortest for the 3 branches, for it has the least power. The president selects, and the Senate confirms the judges for federal courts, and Congress sets the boundaries for federal courts below the Supreme Court, including the size, scope, and even what issues can come before the court. That brings us to Article 4. Article 4 covers the important relationship between the states and the federal government. Here, the Constitution outlines rights and responsibilities of the states, as well as guaranteeing a republican form of government in each state. Article 5 focuses on the rules for amending the Constitution. Now, the founders wisely understood that things can change over time, so Article 5 of the Constitution tells both the states and Congress how to amend the Constitution. To date, there have been 27 amendments, such as those eliminating slavery, giving women the right to vote, and limiting a president to only 2 terms in office. Those are some pretty good amendments. Then you get to Article 6, which covers issues like debts and oaths. It also covers the rule of federal law over state law for issues relating directly to the Constitution. And finally, Article 7 focuses on the ratification of the Constitution. It's followed by the names of the 39 framers who signed it, listed with the states they represented. So that covers the 7 articles of the Constitution. But here's a really interesting fact. The average length of any constitution in the history of the world is only 17 years. But the American Constitution has now surpassed 230 years, making America the longest ongoing and most successful constitutional republic in the history of the world. And that's an overview of the Constitution of the United States of America.